Good day, Professor Torero. Hope all is well. Thank you for watching this presentation. It will take about 10 minutes of your time. The objective of this presentation is first, highlight my objectives for pursuing a PhD. Second, explain the benefits to you as principal advisor. And third, our next meeting is scheduled for next Tuesday at 11:30 at UQ. Chris from your office has logged this into your diary. I would like to use the limited face-to-face time to further progress my candidature. Therefore, if you could give me a call after you have viewed this presentation, it would help us both prepare for our meeting. About myself, Professor Torero, I'm married. I am from India, but have been living in Brisbane for nearly 9 years. Uh, I am currently employed full-time as a fire engineer with WSP. My immediate boss is Franz Venter, and my principal is Wayne Bretherton. I am a member of IOST and IFE. I'm a CEng and an RPQ. Uh, Having spent nearly 8.5 years as a fire engineering consultant, I have developed a passion for fire engineering. And so, Professor Torero, the student that you're getting is someone who has the industry knowledge and the professionalism to handle the challenges that would come up as part of a PhD. Professor Torero, I satisfy all UQ academic entry requirements into the PhD program, having obtained a master's in mechatronics and fire engineering with the latter from University of Western Sydney. I am cognizant of the academic challenges that come with higher education. As I shared with you in October regarding Professor Vivek from India, I have the headspace to work with an academician who is passionate about excellence. As a fire engineer, I am deemed a specialist by the marketplace. A true fire engineer, in my opinion, is a global fire engineer, being able to operate seamlessly without being hindered by boundaries such as varying codes, local fire engineering practices, etc. Seeking to be a true global fire engineer would require one to become omniscient. Only God is omniscient, Professor Torero. Being human, my goal is to be a global fire engineer specializing in an area of fire engineering. A research higher degree program allows me to specialize in an area of fire engineering and contribute to the growth of our knowledge base. My ideal role will be that of a full-time global fire engineer and a part-time role teaching fire engineering. I must clarify, Professor Torero, that I have no intent of seeking a full-time academic career, but I take much pleasure in teaching, being the son of a teacher. A PhD would give me the tools to achieve my ideal career role. Confucius says, every truth has four corners. As a teacher, I give you one corner, and it is for you to find the other three. Finding the other three with students is a fascinating part of the learning experience, Professor Torero, as you are well aware of. Being a CEng and RPEQ establishes a minimum level of competency to satisfy community expectations. I have and will continue to gain industry experience. This, coupled with a research higher degree program, will enhance my competencies significantly. In October, you commented that to be a global fire engineer, one does not need to pursue a research program. I disagree with you, Professor Torero, because it's only half true. Your comment is true in the sense that many of today's global fire engineers have become so only by industry experience. It is false in the sense that it assigns a level of exceptional credibility to fire engineers with no quantifiable basis. Further, it does not meet my expectations of a global fire engineer. Every competent, hardworking man will excel at the work of his hands due to the yearning of continuous development. However, to be a credible global fire engineer, one must contribute to the knowledge base. This is evident when we see fire engineers like Margaret Law, Philip Dineno. These excellent engineers contributed to our knowledge base. A research degree would expand my critical thinking and expose me to international best practices by interacting with experts like you, Professor Torero. Acknowledge the high incompletion rate by PhD candidates. I had an opportunity to do a PhD in robotics in QUT back in '05. I did not pursue it. I believe this time around I have the right objective, drive, and motivation. My employment and academic history provide evidence to you of my commitment to a goal. Uh, Career progression or improved employment opportunities is a byproduct, in my opinion, Professor Torero. The Bible says it best. It says, "Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men." Professor Torero, I have the attributes that UQ desires in its PhD candidates. The knowledge gained from industry and from academia provides a strong foundation for me to undertake a PhD in fire engineering. Having been a director of a fire engineering firm and having delivered successful fire engineering projects, I have the critical judgment, creativity, and self motivation to face the challenges expected with a PhD. Professor Torero, I understand that you are very time poor and you are well aware of the time pressures of a fire engineering consultant like myself. Hence, it is vital we have a communication method that works for both of us. This presentation, followed by a telephone discussion, could be one way of having effective communication between us. Professor Torero, my main drivers for pursuing a PhD are to excel and have credibility as a fire engineer. Credibility being achieved by a combination of my contributions to our knowledge base and excellence as a fire engineer. Hence, when the challenge of a PhD pushes me to my limits, it would not overtake me but stir me on to press on. The motivation factors for a PhD among many is career progression. I acknowledge that a PhD would close a number of doors as you stated in October. However, being a specialist engineer, I must specialize in fire engineering. A PhD allows me to do just that on a quantifiable basis. Professor Torero, my research higher degree is expected to uncover new ideas which would enhance your knowledge base as well. However, a quantifiable way to measure this is by developing publications on my research work. Uh, Publish as I go strategy is what I intend to use. This is to our advantage, Professor Torero. Uh, I have also discussed my intentions of pursuing a PhD with my immediate boss, Franz Venter. Hence, I have laid the groundwork for you, Professor Torero, and myself to seek a WSP buy-in, as you put it in October. WSP is the strongest fire engineering team in Queensland today. A collaboration opportunity with my employer would be advantageous to you, Professor Torrero, if it can be obtained. I have a strong working knowledge of local fire engineering practices, being educated and trained in the Australian system. With your objective of increasing competency of fire engineers via industry engagement, setting up a fire engineering course, my local experience will be advantageous to you. Professor Torrero, the partnership is a win-win. I encourage you to take up the partnership offer. In conclusion, Professor Torrero, I satisfy all UQ academic entry requirements. A PhD allows me to specialize in an area of fire engineering and contribute to the growth of our knowledge base. My objectives to pursue a PhD, my drivers and motivation are clear. As a candidate, I bring a wealth of local fire engineering practice knowledge. This will be of much use to you, Professor Torrero, since you desire to raise the competency levels of fire engineers in Australia. Further, you will have quantifiable knowledge growth based on publications and be able to quantify your success in raising competency of fire engineers in Australia by producing a scholar driven by excellence and credibility. Hence, I encourage you to take up the partnership offer as principal advisor. Thank you, Professor Torrero, for watching this presentation. I look forward to meeting you in person on the 12th of November. If you could give me a call, it would help us both prepare for our next meeting. Thank you once again. Have a nice day.